How's it going, morons? If you haven't noticed, critiquing the Isle's balance has been a pretty popular topic recently, and everybody talking about it at the moment has gotten a lot of views. Positive feedback, and once again, I shall take responsibility as the Isle's biggest brain and spit my knowledge and wisdom to you all to fix the game once and for all. And to stretch this video as long as I can, I am going to be speaking slow and majestically as I am now. So sit back, relax, and listen to my words of wisdom and how to fix the Isle. And let's get started with Dino. First of all, Dino should not be able to hold his breath underwater for this long. It makes it pretty unfair for people that want to go drink some water, so I think Dinos should only be able to hold their breath for about 1 or 2 minutes, but if they're only juvie, maybe like 10 seconds. That way, Dinos are always recognizable, and they can't hide from people, so they are safe to drink. And that way, people would not be afraid to drink water. Diablo needs a serious buff, I think we can all agree. 3 tons is just not reasonable. Personally, I think Diablo needs to be 6 tons, and I think he needs to be able to turn a bit faster, and I think they just need to make him faster in general. With this newly found health, agility, and weight, he should be able to hold his ground perfectly fine when Rex comes out, and Aloes won't even stand a chance. Next up on our list is Pteranodon. At the moment, Pteranodon just has a super quick stamina regeneration time. It flies for way too long. Overall, it's just too active. Personally, I think Pteranodon from 0 to full stamina should take at least 12 or 16 minutes. That way it's AFK longer and has more time to subscribe to HalfSlyced and watch all of his awesome videos. Next we have Omni. Omni's bite force is quite underwhelming and I think it needs to get a buff to 120 rather what it is now. I think Omni's bleed across the board needs to be doubled at least. Its bleed is just quite underwhelming and it's almost impossible to fight things solo. Omni should be able to take things down 10 times its size as a solo Omniraptor, and I think increasing its bite force and bleed would make it a sufficient predator. Stego should be able to run at least 48 kilometers an hour, so it can run away from predators like Cerato, as Stego can't defend itself very well with its very weak tail attacks. Cerato should have biomechanic removed completely because it's stupid and I don't like it, and replaced for the burrowing mechanic. That way it's able to hide from Aloes when Aloe is released to the game. Bipey is way too fast on water and land, and I also think it does too much damage. Its claws are the size of toothpicks and shouldn't do much at all. I think its bleed damage should be removed, and its damage shouldn't even be too much to a Pteranodon or a Troodon. Overall, I think Bipey is just way too powerful. While we're on the subject, we may as well just decrease Bipey's weight to 45 kilograms. Galley is too fast, and I don't think it should be much faster than Omni. That way, Omni players have a much easier time catching it. Also, Galley shouldn't have any attacks at all, so they should just disable them so it can't defend themselves. Because at the moment, they are just way too dangerous. All of Tenno's attacks just do too much damage, and none of them should do any bleed at all. Personally, I don't see Tenno's at the nail salon getting their claws sharpened. And any sort of stun attack from kicking or tail slams should just be removed entirely. Carno, even after the nerf, is still too strong and too fast. I suggest bringing Carno down to 800 kilograms, so it's around the same size as Dilo, then bring it down to 38 kilometers an hour, then replace its charge attack for a dodge similar to Dryo's. Troodon's fine. Dryo needs its dodge replaced for something similar to Carno's charge attack, and Dryo needs a small size increase to about 1.8 tons so it can defend itself when Aloe is released. Packy is far too powerful right now and should just have its fracture ability removed completely. Its speed needs to be nerfed to around 28 kilometers an hour so it can't chase anything down, and its damage should be little to none so carnivores are able to take it down easier. Dilo has 3 hallucination charges, but I think it should get buffed to 5 with a 1-second cooldown timer on each. And Dilo should be at least 62 kilometers an hour at night and just 58 kilometers in the day. This would encourage nighttime hunting, but still make it viable in the day so it can run away from larger predators. It also needs a huge agility buff so it can take down larger herbivores much easier. And lastly, Tipsy needs a huge size increase to 500 kilograms so it can compete with things like Omni, Dilopaki, and others. Tipsy's spit attack needs a small damage buff so it does at least 200 damage. Its spit should only have a 1-second cooldown and only use up 5% of your hunger so it can shoot things much faster. Now that all your ears have been blessed with my graceful knowledge and wisdom, I highly suggest sharing this video to everybody in the IL community so that we all share one idea. And because my ideas are the only ones that are correct, and I highly recommend adopting these ideas and spreading them as if they were your own. Because the last thing we need is horrible balance, and I think all these changes would make the IL perfect, and it's setting the game up for an amazing future. It's a shame I'm not leading the QA team on the IL, but it is what it is. And because my brain is so huge and powerful, I don't expect any comments disagreeing with what I am saying. So if you disagree with anything I've said, I highly recommend just rewatching the video and listening to them 1 or 2 more times. That way the information is properly absorbed in your brain and you can retain the knowledge much easier. And if you've watched this video a few times, the last thing I would recommend is getting a notebook and writing everything down, because writing things down makes things much easier to remember. But that is all for today, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.